guys, it's Brittany. So today's going to be a movie review, and today I'll be reviewing Scream. So Scream was released in theaters on December 20th, 1996. And the story goes that Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell, that she's in high school and that her mother was brutally murdered a year ago, almost a year ago. And her and her friends and her boyfriend are in high school, and this is just a great slasher horror movie directed by Wes Craven. And this movie is just really great. The story's great, and the story goes, of course, that she is still grieving over her mother's death, and it's almost been a year. And she's going to high school, and yet this killer is on the loose, and that this killer is somewhat out there. And the thing is, there's more than one. So of course, the beginning starts off is that um, Casey Becker, played by Drew Barrymore, her character is getting these calls, from, the Ghostface killer. Um, and so he calls her right before he ends up killing her. And that is just quite sad because Drew Barrymore is a really great actress. And to see her character in the beginning of the movie getting killed off like that is like, it's just so sudden. It's like, yeah, we don't know anything about her. It's like we don't know anything about her character at all, like um anything. I mean, so far I think we pretty much know her personality, and the fact that she also loves horror movies because she's mentioned Freddy Krueger and Halloween. But other than that, we don't know anything about Drew Barrymore's character because she gets killed off quite early in the movie. So of course, after that, of course, her parents found her. But I'm not gonna mention how they found her because it was just graphic. So of course it cuts to that and it goes to Sydney, and of course we can see that she has a boyfriend, but of course what she doesn't know is, spoiler alert, he's one of the killers. And so I really loved, I do love this movie. Now of course when it comes to the killing scenes in the movie, that is something I don't like because like I feel bad for those characters that end up getting killed because it's like, okay, they didn't need that. I just feel like there are some characters I think that should have been left alone and that shouldn't have been cut off, but because I think when it comes to horror movies in general, it's like, well, sorry, it's like there are some characters that are gonna get killed off, whether if you like it or not. So it's like, oh, gee, thanks for being so honest. So now with Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, I love her performance as Sidney because I feel like in a way her character is relatable, especially to the fact that she is a fighter, and she is a survivor because like when it really comes down to what's really going on, especially towards the end, and especially when it comes to that when she finds out that her boyfriend is this, messed up guy, and how he is this ghost face killer, and so is his friend Stu, but of course, now with Stu. Okay, Stu Macher, I find his character, I don't know, like, something just seems very off about him. And to me, he also seems like just like a wuss. Like, to me, like, he has no backbone. Like, to me, it's like there's just nothing about him where it's like, oh yeah, I'll take care of it, don't worry, or nothing like that. To me, it's like I don't know. To me, he just seems like he acts kind of stupid. Now, when I say stupid, I mean like where he tries to act all dumb about the whole thing and. Uh, But anyway, now Matthew Lillard, he's the one that plays Stu Malker. Now he did a good job playing Stu, but I don't like his character because to me he's just kind of irritating. Because it's like, okay, really? Like, what you're saying, or sometimes I feel like what he says at times and what he does, and there's been a couple of times he actually sticks out his tongue like bleh. Well, not like that, but he does it in a different way. But I feel like when he does, I'm like, oh, you're so pathetic. Like, okay, what a wuss. I don't know. To me, like, there's something very off about him. But Billy, now Billy though, where I'm just like, okay, I don't like this guy. Like, let's just say to me, I suspected him from the beginning because now here's the thing, I suspected him the moment when damn it, it's kind of like when Cindy got attacked, like when she was all alone in the house and when she got attacked by Ghostface, and then when she was trying to call 911 but she couldn't, and then she reaches 911 on her computer. I don't know how they did that at the time. I mean, I don't even know. But anyway, so he comes through the window. He comes through her bedroom window, and of course, so she's scared, and just when he's like hugging her, comforting her, saying like it's okay, and when the phone, yeah, that's right. I think when the phone, was it the phone or was it the voice changer? Yeah, I think it was the phone that actually slipped out. But when that happened, I immediately suspected him because I thought, okay, it has to be him because there's no way that just as soon as the killer left, that he came through her bedroom window. So it's like, okay, something doesn't seem right. And believe me, even when I watched Scream the first time, I was 13. I seem to notice that when it comes to watching horror movies, that I was starting to watch scary movies for the first time when I was 13. Because when you think about it, I mentioned how I watched Sleepy Hollow when I was 13, and now I watched Scream when I was 13, so that's quite interesting. So anyway, other than that, I do love the story, to the movie. But what I think is so unique about this movie is that when it comes to the Ghostface killer, it's like you don't know who it is. It's like it could be anyone. It could be someone that you don't like and you suspect them, or it could be someone that maybe you actually like and you never thought could be them because you actually trust that character, and it turns out, they're up to no good. So it could be either way, but so yeah, now this movie is so good, with so many things, like, and Wes Craven, yes, the late Wes Craven, may he rest in peace. He did such a good job directing this movie, and I think this was probably like one of the first slasher horror movies that I've ever watched when I was 13. And here's the thing, I think when I watched it, I was so scared of Ghostface, and believe me, I still am afraid of Ghostface. Just because how the mask looks and how the black outfit just completes the whole look of the Ghostface costume. So yeah, I'm still scared of Ghostface. But I think at the time I was so scared where I think I was like having nightmares. But I mean, so far I haven't really dreamt of Ghostface, but I mean, in case I do, oh gosh, it's gonna feel so real to me. So anyway, Wes Craven, yes, he did such a good job directing this movie, and like I said, one of the first slasher horror movies that I've watched when I was 13. And here's the thing, even though of course I still don't like the scenes where the good characters get killed, but other than that, I still like the movie because it shows how the main characters of the movie, how they survive and that they have each other's backs, and how that that if anyone's in danger, that they're gonna try to at least help someone. And of course, even if they are too late to save them, at least they tried. You know, so that's what I like about it. That it doesn't show just one thing. It shows like friendship, and it shows like no matter if you're. It shows that even when they're going through this, how they're willing to fight for their lives, and that in the end they survive. And it shows how that no matter what you may be going through, whether if it's something really horrible or not, that in the end you can stand up and fight for yourself. So I don't know, I like that though. That's the one thing I do like about the movie, is that they defend for themselves, fight for their lives, and they even defend for each other. So that's the one thing I like about it. But other than that, because I know there are some people who actually have a favorite character death scene in the movie, but I actually don't, because I just don't like how the characters get killed. I don't. I really don't. Like, to me, it's just horrible and it's sad and it's like, why? Okay, especially with Tatum. Like, when she got killed in the movie, I'm like, no, why? And even the way she got killed, I thought was kind of strange, but at the same time, it was just, uh, terrible as well. I'm like, no, no, why? But yeah, okay, so of course Wes Craven, he directed this movie so good, and the cast, I love the cast of this movie. Like I love Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, and the rest of the cast as well. You know, Rose McGowan as Tatum, David Arquette as Dewey, and Courtney Cox as Gail Weathers, and of course, even also one of my favorite characters, um, Jamie Kennedy as Randy Meeks. And considering he was killed off in Scream 2, that still upsets me. Like, really? Do you have to do that? And believe me, it wasn't Wes Craven that actually did that, it was the writer, so I don't know what was up with that, but uh, not too many fans were happy with that, especially me. But of course, that's a whole different thing. I will actually review Scream 2. I don't know when that might be. I do think it'll be next year, but I don't know when. Could be in the summer, or maybe it could be in October next year, but I'll get into part 2 much later. Right now, this is part 1. So, yes, I love part 1, and of course, when I actually watched it the first time, and I felt like, you know, of course, because when you watch a movie for the first time, it's like you are actually being introduced to these characters for the first time. And of course, when you're being introduced to these characters for the first time, there are some characters where you're gonna know, okay, I don't like this character, I don't like them, and you know what, but I actually like these characters, I love these characters because I can relate to them, or there's something about them that I really like. But of course, there are some characters where you're not gonna like, and believe me, I think the characters I immediately started to like right away was Sydney, Randy, and Tatum, Dewey, even Gail. I mean, even though I thought she seemed kind of mean at times, I thought, well, she seems okay. I hope maybe she'll end up, I don't know, maybe doing something nice later. But of course, Now, the only characters I just. Here's the thing. At first, I didn't like them because I'm like, okay, I don't know what to think about them. Because now, Stu and Billy, they were the ones I really suspected at first. And let's just say when it turned out that they actually turned out to be the Ghostface killers, and since they were the ones that actually killed Sydney's mother a year ago, I was so shocked. And knowing that they were the killers at the end, believe me, I felt like I was so mad. I was like, you know what? I don't just like them now. I hate them. I hate these characters. I still stand by that because I still hate Billy. You know, I mean, even though they're fictional characters, still I feel like because they are fictional characters, I feel like I can say that. Whereas like, okay, I hate them. Now, of course, the actors themselves did a good job playing these characters, but I don't like them. I really don't. It's like because there's just something that seems so fishy about them and something so suspicious. So, and of course, the acting, I think the acting was very well done by everyone. Like, by Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis and Matthew Lillard as Stu Malker and everyone else in this movie, like David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Rose McGowan, um, Jamie Kennedy, and Neve Campbell. Like they all did a really great job with their performances of these characters. Because of course there are some characters that I really like, and some of the characters are actually my favorites. But of course, there's only two that that are not my favorite. I don't like them, and they're on my S list. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, those two characters are not on my good side. They're on my bad side. And so yeah, the performances are very well done by everyone, and I love watching it because when I see those performances, like it really pulls you in. Like it just pulls you in into the moment of what's going on, and whether if you really like what's going on or not, it's like it's you're gonna end up seeing what you're gonna see anyway, whether if you like it or not. You know, it's kind of like that, and the music composer Marco Beltrami, he did such a good job composing the music because there is one part, yeah, there's a certain part of the music where it sounds sad, where it actually sounds sad and haunting. And I actually mentioned that in my Dreamtime video, which of course, if you wanna go ahead and watch that, feel free to do so. So yes, so because the the cast did a good job, and even like with the costume designs, you know, the wardrobe for the characters was, I think, was great, and everything about it was great. I would have to, okay, so to rate on Scream, I would have to say, um, let's see, I would have to give it an A. I would have to give it like 4.5 stars. Um, I would have to give it like at least 90%. Um, oh yeah, even like a 8. I have to say 8.9 out of 10. So that is my review on Scream. Now, of course, I love the movie. I love the rest of the movies. I do, but I did not have a favorite character death scene because to me that's just so sad, you know. So of course I do have some favorite characters, and like I said, I love this movie. Like let's just say I love the good things about it, but when it comes to whole killing the innocent characters and killing off the good characters in the movie, I don't quite like that because I quite feel bad and I feel sad about them. Like, why? Or, and it even shocks me too at times. You know, it shocks me where I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is disturbing. You know, like, whoa. So anyway, that is my review on Scream. And yes, the story itself is just this very interesting story because it's nothing quite like it. Like, I never seen a movie with this kind of story before. And everyone did such a good job. And so that is all for today. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please give this video a like and share it. And yeah, follow me on social media, which the links will be down in the description below. So that's all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.